Hello folks, and welcome to another Squeakerchimp tutorial. And today I've got something really exciting to show you, and this has come from one of my members of my Squeakerchimp Paper Bead Group on Facebook, and it was Carrie Tucker who has come up with this suggestion, and she's tried to explain it, and what she really wanted was someone to do a video, and she approached me and said, could I do one? So here I am doing it. And this is a video on how to use a salad spinner. Yes, you heard it right. A salad spinner to help you glaze your beads. So without further ado, I'm literally just going to launch into it. There's going to be not a lot of chat. So here we go. So what I've done is I have got a load of beads that I have strung up. Now, you know me, I'm not normally a bead dipper. I am a bead painter, but I've got a lot of beads here that could do with being glazed, so we're going to try the method. So what I've done is I have put them on some stretchy elastic, and I've also just attached a little hook at the end, an earring hook, because this is a little trick that I've learned from when I dye my yarn, is that it's much easier to keep hold of the ends, because when you pull it back out again, all you're going to be doing is lifting that up and all of it comes back out. You haven't got to kind of search through to try and find your end. So that is my top tip. Once you've put all of your beads together, put the ends together like so. So I've strung my beads up. I'm not going to do a tutorial on that. I think you could probably work that out. So that's my beads. And what else am I going to need? So obviously you're going to need something to string your beads up with. I've strung mine up, so that's done. You're also going to need your glaze of choice, and for today's glazing I'm going to be using this Vallejo gloss acrylic varnish. It's permanent and it's quick drying. It says it dries in 4 hours. Now I find it dries an awful lot quicker than that, and it also says you need 2 coats. So we're going to have a look, we're going to see how it goes today. So you're going to need a glaze of your choice. I've also got a spatula, which is an old spatula. It's been relegated. It's a bit crusty now, so it's completely and utterly relegated just purely for crafting purposes, and I will let you know what that's for in a bit. I've also got a cocktail stick because I absolutely thoroughly intend to not get glaze on my fingers, so when everything has been glazed I will probably pick it up with a cocktail stick, because I don't like getting my hands dirty. I also have a bowl, and we're going to use the bowl in a minute to decant the glaze into so that we can dip our beads. And then I also have one of these silicone mats, and this is what I'm going to put down first, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to have glaze everywhere. Now in theory, if we do this right, we won't have any glaze anywhere, we won't have excess drips, and that is the whole point of this, is that normally when you dip your glaze in your beads, when you dip your beads in your glaze and then you hang them up, they basically drip, and you end up losing an awful lot of glaze and you end up wasting it. And actually sometimes your beads can become a little bit kind of stuck and a little bit of an excess glaze in there, or you might have some drippy bits. Well, the whole point of this is that actually you're going to eliminate all of that. So just to be on the safe side anyway, I've got my silicone mat. I've had this for years. I cannot honestly remember where I got it from. Chances are it was probably somewhere like Amazon. So I'm just going to put my silicone mat down just to keep everything nice and clean. And the good news about these is they're just washable, so you can just protect your surface completely from it. And then what you need is a salad spinner. So assuming that you all know what a salad spinner is, you obviously would put your salad in it, spin it, and the centrifugal force would force the water outwards, and so you'd end up with dry salad. So what we're aiming for today is to end up with beads that have got a nice layer of glaze on and not loads and loads of excess glaze, so that when we hang them up to dry, they're just going to dry really nicely. So I'm just going to put this aside for 1 minute, and I will get my beads. So again, it's always handy to grab hold of that little metal bit. There we go. So that's all my beads. I've got 3 strands, varying beads, varying shapes, just so that you can see that there's a wide variety, so that we can have a little looky at the end to see how they come out. this is the bit that does annoy me about glazing beads, is they all get a bit tangled. But I've got a really long strand of them. I've also got this shorter strand which has got some different beads on. They've had one coat of glaze, but I think actually they could probably do with another one. And then I've got this one, and so you just want to put like what's it called, bead, like a kind of superfluous bead. That's the word I was kind of looking for, but it's not really what I want. You kind of want to put just a bead that you don't really care about on the end, like a sacrificial bead. There we go. Should we call it that? A sacrificial bead. Because these are ones that, you know, it doesn't really matter. You're just using it to stop all of your other beads coming off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decant my glaze into here, like so. I'm just going to pour the whole lot in. Not worrying about it. I'm just going to pour the whole lot in because I know that I can decant it all back into my bottle when I've finished. So, and then what I'm going to do is with my beads, I'm going to dip them in like so. And then this is where I can use my cocktail stick just to make sure everything gets a really good coat. And you can leave it in there for a minute if you want. I don't think it really matters how long you leave it, because once it's coated, it's coated. It's not like you're going to actually be, the beads are going to be particularly absorbing this glaze. Now, if you were to use UV resin does really absorb into, or resins really absorb into paper, but quite often some glazes don't absorb into papers. So, but I am just going to make sure that every single one of these beads is absolutely covered. Wipe the excess off of my stick and pop it over here. And again, you see how much easier it is to just kind of keep hold of this little bit here. I'm just going to move this to one side. And I'm going to bring my salad, spin it in. And I'm just going to try and increase the height of this so that you can see. Bear with me, I'll come back in a second once I've lifted it. Okay, so I've positioned the camera so that you can see, and in your salad spinner what you'll have is a basket that's kind of like suspended on top of the pin. And what we're going to do is I want to make sure that I'm not like literally just getting stuff everywhere. So I am going to lift this up. I am going to just try and maybe get rid of a little bit of excess, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pop them in there. This is the exciting bit. So pop the lid on, making sure that you're lining up the lid with the basket inside. And then all we do is literally spin. And spin. And you can hopefully see at the bottom all that glaze that has come shooting out from those beads. So again, let's go slowly, let's spin. Try and spin as much as possible. And I can still see that more glaze is coming off. So I'm just going to try and bring you down so that you can see what happens. So I think that's probably about done. And then what we can do is, again, I'm going to get my little stick because I don't want messy hands. I'm going to bring you over here so that you can see. Let's just make sure the camera's right. Don't want you to miss any of the action. So you can see that our beads have now got a nice layer of glaze on them, but they've not got too much glaze on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang these up to dry, And then I will come back and I will do a second layer and I will show you the results. But what I'm also going to do is, once I have glazed them twice, I'm going to show you how to clean this bad boy out, and also how to get your glaze that's in here out, so that you are literally wasting the least amount of glaze. So come back and I will show you the final results and all the cleaning. Okay, so once you have finished glazing your beads, what you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of glaze in the bottom of your salad spinner. And this is where an old spatula is going to come in really handy. So we can just pick it up and we can start to squash it through the holes and just kind of get all of that glaze out, because what we don't want to do is kind of waste it. I mean, there's going to be a limit to how much we can get out, so I'm just going to pop that over there. But this one is where we can probably get more. So again, with my spatula, I'm just going to wipe down the edges, and I know that this is a little bit difficult for you to see because it is quite a large surface. And it's difficult for me to record because I only have a limited amount of space. But I'm going to decant this back into here. And you can see how much glaze came off the beads. You know, loads of glaze has come off the beads, so that should really eliminate any drippage from your beads. And so you're going to save so much money by using this method, and not just letting the glaze kind of drip off and dry. You're going to be able to make your glaze last a lot longer, because at the end of the day, glaze is expensive. Whatever glaze you use, whichever one you go for, it is expensive. It's not cheap to glaze your beads. But so there we go. So I've got so much in here. Wipe my spatula off. There we go. And then I can just decant it back into my bottle and use my spatula. But now what we've got is we've obviously got a messy, sticky salad spinner. And the easiest way to clean this is literally to put some water in it and to put some soap in it and give it a good spin, because most of the glazes that you are probably using are a water-based glaze, and so therefore they will dissolve into water. So obviously kind of be careful what kind of sink you're using it in, and make sure you clean it all down afterwards. And obviously this salad spinner, you're not going to want to use it for your salad once you've used it for crafting, so it's literally going to just be relegated for crafting. But yeah, you're going to literally just pop some water in it, you're going to pop some soap in it, and you're going to give it a good spin, and that will get rid of all of the glaze that's kind of caught in all of these little nooks and crannies. But there we go. That is how to use the salad spinner in order to glaze your beads. And what I'll do is I will come back at the end and I will show you the result of the beads. Okay, so here we are, and we're back, and we have finished glazing them. So now I can just take them off of their strands, and I snapped them in between each glazing lot. I did try and snap this one, then I realised actually that is the shape of the bead. But here we go. So it was super easy, it was super quick, and I loved the fact that actually we weren't wasting any of the glaze. So it's an absolutely amazing technique. I do really like it if you are glazing a lot of beads. It's not my personal choice. I still like to hand paint my beads. I just find that I get a better finish, and maybe it's because I am not used to glazing beads in strands by dipping them, but I just find that I get a better finish on the ends when I paint my beads. But here we go. Here are all these beads, and it was really quick. That is, I think, the thing is that there was no mess. I put a piece of tissue paper underneath the beads when they were hanging to dry, and look, nothing, absolutely nothing dripped off. So from that point of view, it's an absolute winner. There was no mess. I've managed to get the content, I've managed to get all of the gloss back in the bottle, hardly wasted any, super easy to clear up as well. Because it's water-based, I literally just put some soap and water in it, washed it all out. I actually did it in the bath and they're all in there just drying and ready to use next time. So hope you like that technique. If you think it's something that you might like to give a try to, please do, and leave a comment in the box below. If you're not a member of the Facebook paper beading group, then why not come on over to our group, because there's so many good ideas on there. I will speak to you all soon and have a great day.